The Ambition Hour, baby.
This that new.
It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby. Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airways, and this is episode 206.
You already know, baby. We are here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome you again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am your host, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves, joined by my co-host, House 600, and my official, unofficial other co-host, Bay the Retriever.
Where is Bay right now?
She's
under
sleeping.
me.
We should probably not have said her name, but welcome.
The one that shall not be named.
Yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. We're going to start the episode how we always start it. First of all, shout out to that intro video that we have. Still dope. Nice to see it.
That's what you're grateful for this week?
No. But
one could only hope.
But do you want to go ahead and start? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. Start. Take it off.
I am grateful for. Okay, so I'm very grateful for one of my runs this week. So I've been running. I've been trying to incorporate that type of physical activity into my life. I feel like I don't feel comfortable where my body is, so I am working towards changing that because I am the only one who can do that.
That's true.
And so one of the walks, I decided to listen to a sermon by my pastor. So I'm listening to the sermon, and I told Hav, I said, I heard this sermon that I heard it and I just knew that something was going to come from it because that's how powerful it was. And it truly was. So I'm very thankful for that run that I took. That I think I might have heard it in 2 parts in 2 days. I heard it in one run and then finished it in the other one. And I was just determined to finish the sermon with my run. So it also made me, do a little bit more of a distance in my running. So I appreciated that as well. But yeah, so it would just be that. It would just be the message that God had for me that day because, I said it. I was just I feel like something is going to happen, and something did happen the next day. So that was really cool. So it was a testimony, like how I told Hav. I'm grateful for the testimony. Can I get a witness? Hav, what are you grateful for?
Shit. I'm over here thinking about what the hell I am grateful for this weekend. Even though there's so many things to be grateful for, I got to talk to my parents this week. I also got to lower my car insurance. That's something to be grateful for. Also the news that I'm looking to be a little bit more or en route to be permanent at my job. Shit. One of the things that I'm also grateful for, man, is growing up. As many times as I guess I like to be hard on myself, or we like to be hard on ourselves. I want to say shout out to my growth and growing up though, because one, not too many people do grow up, right? They stay stuck and stagnant. And I still have my childish ways, and I'm still a geek and very much a kid myself. I'll fucking play video games for hours and stuff like that, or have fun and watch anime and stuff, which I don't really think qualifies you as a kid. But anyways, man, adult, or whatever could be thrown out there. Immature at times, but fuck it, man. I ain't trying to be fucking, all boo-hooed, cried, and all jaded as fuck as a grown adult. But with that said, just more on topic of that appreciation of time, because one, you get to see things and you become more aware of things, right? Like we were talking with Spitz earlier, and he was just mentioning yeah, man, right when you said that to me, because I was mentioning how power is also generational. And that's something that I got, honestly to God, from Pokemon, because I was every single new game, they'll add some new shit. When we had more cell phones, they started putting cell phones in the game, or different mechanics, or even with new Halos, you have to, Call of Duties, Fortnite, you have to adapt to the new, because now our standard or our quality is up there, or we expect this to be already there. Just like how, a phone is now just super essential to, any mechanic, to any game. So, but I always lose myself in fucking being grateful.
So growing up,
as I'm talking about it, but yeah, growing up and just seeing things change, you being more aware of things, you also being accepted to change, and also not like, this is what I meant more about it, like, fuck, man, I could have done that when I was younger, or I could have done this when I was younger, or, man, I wish I knew. Well, yeah, exactly that. You wish you knew, but you didn't know. And we have to be accepting of that. And sometimes it takes us longer than some other people. Like, oh, yeah, they, like, right, they're getting married, or they have that job that they want, or that income seems to be pretty stable, or you'll be pretty satisfied with that income. But hey, if that's not for you, you know, what's for you is for you, and it's not a race. And just appreciate your age. You don't have to lie either way. Like, old people, don't try to act like you're younger than you are. You know, and young people, don't try to act older than you are. Be acceptance of like where you're at.
Yeah.
I feel like in my life, and my bad, this might be like a little rant and shit like that. But I felt like in my life too, like even with the older sibling, I felt like I always was fighting to be older. You know, a little bit. You know, and possibly maybe some year rob of some years of my youth. Not joking, but like, you know, like, damn, did some of that like take away from it? But also, like, I also think is my appreciation of hip hop, because that's what really gets me to think like that. Because I would listen back to like NWA, and it's like, man, why was I listening? I should have been like way more concerned of the music that was coming out, you know, than rather than being so infatuated with the '90s and early Death Row, Ruthless Records, and shit like that. But shit, I'm happy how I spend my time.
And you should be. There should be no shame in the game. This week was.
Did I fumble? Or did that make sense? Or?
Yeah, it made sense.
Okay.
Listen, don't be so hard on yourself, boy. This is the Ambition Hour podcast, so you can say what you need to say, express it the way you need to express it, and it's gonna fall how it falls.
Right.
So we have the gold wall behind us, and this celebrating the Grammys this past weekend. So yeah, and it's to bring up that the Grammys happened this past weekend, and there were a lot of winners in the house, of course. Some of them are Jasmine Sullivan. We have who else won Grammys? I feel like she was somebody that was excited to win a Grammy. I know that also SZA and Doja Cat won a Grammy for, is it Kiss Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Beautiful song.
A really good song. And it was very popular on TikTok, so it was like a big deal. Those are the ones that I feel like I remember off the top of my head. And Baby Keem also won one. And Tyler the Creator, of course, won one for Best Rap Album of the Year. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been saying that album. That album is
Claudia, talk your shit a little bit more. She's being humble now. Claudia picked out this. She didn't really just say, "Yo, hey, the Grammys is gonna win album of the year," but she said, "Yo, that Tyler album, a problem."
It's a problem. Like I feel like, was that the only one that he was nominated for?
Category wise,
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I want to say he had 3 nominations, but I could be wrong. But basically, and Claudia said, well, what'd you say, Claudia? Like, oh, I missed last rollout.
Oh yeah,
I ain't gonna miss this one.
because for Igor, I heard the album a year later, so I felt like I was so late. I didn't get to experience the rollout, the experience, and then after
you
listening,
became a fan off that album.
Yeah, I became a fan after Igor. So when it came time for even finding out that he was gonna come out with a new album, and I kept saying album this, album that, and then he finally comes out with the album, and then the same thing with the tour. I even said it. I was just like, I have my money ready for when Tyler goes on tour. And he announced the tour dates like probably like a little bit later, and I got them. So I've been like really like set on. He's like a year older than you.
Yeah.
I thought he was younger. That's funny. I'll be forgetting y'all get up there in life, in age.
Yeah, man, the 90 babies, we're getting older now. You know, shit. It's now these kids who are born in the thousands, you know, like they're turning legit 20 years old. And I guess that's why, like, I say that too. Because
okay, so he's won 2. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, because he won last year too for Igor.
Oh.
Yeah, that's because last year that was the year that he basically said like, yo, why, like I feel like urban or basically like why is this a rap album? I don't feel like I made a rap album.
Yeah,
But
and
y'all
that's
giving
he won best rap album for Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost. So the last two albums that he's dropped, that's what he's won. He didn't win for best melodic rap performance, which was the song that was nominated was What's Your Name, which I feel like should have won because that is a really good song. Like What's Your Name is such a vibe, and then NBA, what is it?
NBA YoungBoy probably did
is on it too.
probably dissed the
So
Grammys in one song or some shit like that. It probably bowed them out for that one. Now I'm kidding, but no, that I feel you. But that local performance. Oh wait, no, the vocal. Oh, melodic performance. Okay, I thought it was the vocal because that's the one that Baby Keem won, right? Because I think that Family Ties, that vocal performance, it definitely deserves a Grammy for that, for all the like the little shits that they did there.
I feel like
Cause you can't beat top of the morning, like like that. That's a vocal performance for him to get that off, and like that was big on TikTok too, But even Keem's whole delivery and flow with that, I think that like I feel like they always kind of get it right with the vocal performance ones with it. Sometimes they fumble the bag with the album of the year, rap album of the year, or whatever like that, but. I always feel that at least for the vocal performance, you always like, oh yeah, that's understandable because of what they did. Because I feel like was it that Sicko Mode one for that one, or did Travis not win a Grammy for Sicko Mode at all?
I don't remember.
Because I remember the documentary, but I feel like that because he lost to Cardi B, he doesn't get the Grammy. But I feel like it was just because he wanted that album of the year. But yeah.
But shout out to Tyler and everybody else who won a Grammy for the first time, for the second time. Mm-hmm. If you won multiple, Silk Sonic did a clean sweep, so they ended up cleaning house. I don't know. I feel some type of way about these fools winning.
Why? Like, because this is something great that they did. I know that there's like, why? I mean, explain that.
I feel like they just cheated.
Well, like if you think about that, like, oh, they're cheated, but that music again. Being 30 plus, you know what I mean? Being 30 plus, that music. But guess what? There's kids that are 11, 12 that are singing that song Skate like it's the first time that they heard a song like that. Because it is the first time that they heard a song like that. Or heard a song like Leave the Door Open. Some people probably found out about themselves with that song. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I really like Karen. Like, shit, I want Karen to leave the door open for me. You know what I mean? Like, because shit, man. It's getting hot in here video made me learn some things about myself. You know what I mean? I know my little thing got bigger, you know what I mean? But so yeah, I just feel like you could say that they're cheating, but like, okay, you're cheating though in a way because you're holding them to like the past a little bit we could get to the Bel Air shit too. But like of what is the past type shit and what happened back then, and that sounds similar to this. Well, that to kind of like do something that is reminiscing of the past but still make it today and make it pop so then that the young kids or everyone else is hearing it, or like we all kind of could like it. Because think about it, man, that probably like brought people together or some shit, like a young kid knows Leave the Door Open, and that's reminded of an old song, a Motown song for a grandma or an aunt or uncle, and then they're vibing out to that like, dang, what you know about this? And they're like, shit, I don't know nothing about this. I thought this was my other song. I thought it was that one song. But now it's a new song by Silk Sonic. So, I don't know. I feel like it's...
I feel like I like it. I don't know. I just would have maybe liked to have seen other people win. I don't even know who were in the categories.
I'm not sure who was in the category, and I mean that could be maybe debated, but I honestly don't know another album but this is something else. We praise it in hip hop though. In hip hop, if you could challenge that '90s flow or that Tribe Called Quest era, I love the College Dropout, you will be highly rewarded at the Grammys. So them doing that too, I felt like it was at least justifiable. Yeah, they should have clean sweep, And I love how they came. Anderson, he's gone. He's been gone, but now he's fucking stratospheres.
For real.
Like so. Congratulations to both those boys too. Yeah, Bruno Mars, because they went in with the production, the videos, the dancing, the rollout,
the whole shebang.
Even like how they were talking about it too, or like me as a musician, how like I felt them where they were like, man, like we made an album that we could perform. You know, or like, you know, we want to share with the world, but the world got closed, you know, but made it while the world was closed, you know, like, so that, I think that was really dope. So I'm happy that they got
How went it back for Silk Sonic?
I mean, cause I thought that was a good point though. Like, you know, I think that's a good point because we praise it other genres we praise where they could reach or give us that feeling, and also it's like, damn, that is dope that these kids, or, you know, like now and today is more familiar with that sound. So that now when a Jackson 5 song or Temptation song comes on, it's not like, ugh. It's more like, oh shit. Dang. And then that's what TikTok's been doing too with some of these old songs. Been like, oh
yeah, some
shit.
of these like the I like that one's making a comeback. That guy.
It's like
there's like some other songs that I'm seeing that are making a comeback because of these apps and reels and.
Because there's a thing that happened, like, I guess, like with the SoundCloud era, you could say like hip hop music really became more vibey. You know, even like we look at it with Billie Eilish, like a lot of things just become like, oh, that shit's just a vibe. You know what I mean? And then sometimes the lyrics take a hit, and whoever could balance out the both wins. You know, and that's why Lil Baby's really hot right now, because he has that vibe. Oh, this is a vibe, but then also he's saying shit in there too.
Yeah.
You know, so
Billie Eilish won an Oscar.
For
her and her brother.
Oh, because they got that Disney Plus thing? Is that what it was?
They were in is it the Batman song?
Oh, they did it. Oh, no, they did James Bond. Wasn't
James
that?
Bond.
Or they did both.
No, I think it was James Bond.
That James Bond song is really like, it's a testament almost, or like I feel like that's another step of approval over the industry, especially for an R&B singer. I can't remember who did it. A couple of was it Adele or did Lady Gaga have one? There was, you know, it just you did a Bond song, like the Bond song for that movie that year, or you know,
that movie,
because they
make a lot of them.
They usually come out every year, yeah, especially when they have like the actor like very solidified. So yeah, like that's another level too. She's gone too. She been gone, but now yeah, she's like in another planet now.
Definitely. Okay, so let's get into some new music. We got some new music from BIA featuring J. Cole called London.
Best song out right now. It's gonna drop all this. I'm in London. I don't go shop at the mall. Stop playing with Bia's fucking name, bro. Stop it, Five. Claudia, you know I've been waiting for this record for so long. I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep on going. I'll keep on talking my shit. I probably talked way too much this episode already. But Bia, she had this clip. She would look like she was in London too. She was, you know, car service. I almost want to bring it up. This clip, I swear to God, I would look up on the page like every single time I wanted to get in that vibe, because it was just a vibe. Again, it goes back to that. It was a vibe of a record and a sound. Like, damn. So then I would go watch this clip. I'm like, man, when's she gonna drop it? And then last time I went to go see it, she was like, this is my next single. I'm like, man, she capping, because she dropped some other shit and it wasn't this, but maybe it was like a remix or some shit. So I was like, okay. And then it finally fucking comes, and then it was a feature too. So then I was worried too, because she dropped this is the rollout, right? She dropped the cover with like the silhouette of J. Cole, like me and who else? Like guess.
Who did you think it was when you saw it?
I honestly didn't get. I was like, shit, I don't know who the hell this is. So I saw someone else say J. Cole, and I was like, damn, that would be crazy if she get that J. Cole feature. And I was like, and if this is that, because it's London, you know.
Maybe London. We're saying one thing J. Cole gonna do is hop on a London track.
Hop on a London track about fucking and kill this shit as a feature. That's for sure. Let me see if I can find this fucking snippet, because this shit was just too crazy for me. So she drops this shit, and I'm like, this over. We're about to play this all goddamn day. And shit, at least for me, that's what I did do. I played it all goddamn day. And
yeah, I heard it probably like 8 times before he went to work yesterday. And I probably heard it like 20 times today. Maybe more. Because I also made a reel for it, so.
But you like the song, though.
Oh, no. I really like the song. I love the song. I love the song. I love the video. I love the vibe.
I love her.
Yeah, I love her.
I love her whole vibe that she got going on.
Yeah, something that Jav and I were speaking, that I was telling him is that since the first time I heard her, I was like, who is this girl? So anything that she's come out with after, I can't say that I'm an avid fan and I know all of her songs and like, you know, I'm up to date when it comes to things like that. But there is a special thing about her that like I've acknowledged very early about her. So Go and get your coins. And I know because of like some of her songs and stuff like that, she's gotten like, you know, clothes, endorsements, like, you know, front row at like fashion shows and like all these different things. Like, so shout out to her, man, because she was a writer, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's how she started.
I believe you're right.
She started as a writer, and then she started gaining traction. She's had songs with Russ that, you know, Rihanna really liked. The song that I was introduced to her by was Safari by J Balvin and Pharrell. So that was just like, you know, really something, and it was in Spanish. So I was just kind of like, remember watching the video and being like, holy shit, she's beautiful. And she has like this, like, it was like that attitude that you see in the video.
Yeah.
Like she's had that. Like that's her. You know what I mean? Like she's had that.
She's had that, yeah.
My makeup is she kind of inspired it, because in the video they did her makeup like a certain way. I just didn't do it specifically that way. But I was going for something like that. And you said that
I hope so.
And you were saying that, what are you gonna be able to bring the clip up?
That's what I'm trying to do here. Give me a second.
Okay.
Because I want to just like how long ago this clip was, and like we've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it, and and just like the vibe of it, and like, because you haven't seen this. So I want to do this real quick. Yeah, so really congrats on her. You were saying how many views did she already got, Claudia?
She had 1.2 million.
Jeez.
Yeah, she had 1.2 million. That's something that I noticed that they use a lot in some of these young shows.
Oh, the views?
Sheesh.
Oh yeah. All right, hold on. We're gonna have to bring it back, but because I got it muted right now. So let's see when this November 27th. I'm in the future. I got a future. I'm in a new truck. I'm in a booth. Yeah, drinking kombucha. Singing with Smiley. Speaking me highly. Trying to go Kylie. I wake up finally. Suffering silence. Waking up violent. Checking the finest. Choosing the finest. That's the environment. Talk that shit, BIA. AP watch. Checking my timing. Cleaning my watch. Cleaning the top. And I thought this was about to have like some grime. I thought we were about to have like a grime artist on this, or like some, because you know she says singing with Smiley. So the Smiley was that guy who had that record with Drake, and this beat is kind of like very in that realm. So I was like, oh
yeah, and even in the video, that's how the dancers are dancing too.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice clip, and it, like how you said, it does look like she's in another country, but that's actually. It's the hat. Yeah, what she did was kind of like the same thing for J. Cole, right? Because that's what happened. It was the first time that they had met. They were in the studio. It was for something else. He was meeting with her for something else, and
she plays this.
She plays that. Yeah, she plays that song one time, and that's it. But Cole ended up liking it, and I guess, and then now he's on the song. So, you know, when you're Cole, you can do that.
Yeah, he talked about that too, a little bit more, like kind of being afraid of it being one of the most difficult guest verses that he has done, I guess, in recent time.
Because she did so good. And he's like, and also like the song, like I think didn't need him. You said,
yeah, like the song didn't need him. Or like she already gave the song the energy, all that. Like there was nothing missing, basically.
Yeah.
So then like making sure that what you're adding is good, you know, or adding to it rather than just like, oh, I'm throwing a verse on this because I want to throw a verse on it.
Yeah.
And Cole's never been that artist, you know, and shout out to Cole too, because I thought that off season was going to win one, and I thought this would have been a perfect lineup too, because then he would have won the Grammy, dropped the mixtape with you know, the D-Day with D-Day drama, and then dropped this London. I'm like, damn, this was a nice little victory lap, if you will, for the Grammys, even though they probably didn't really think about that at all.
So what does it say about Bia as an artist now that she has a song with
She has songs
J.
for
Cole, but she does have a song with Pharrell.
I think maybe as an art, or I guess female artist wise, it probably puts her in another space.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, sometimes features do a lot for an artist.
Hey, 21 Savage won a Grammy for a lot.
That's true, and I think that's J. Cole's only Grammy, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Excuse me.
That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
Another one that's crazy is that Nicki's never won one. Continue.
You know how I feel about Nicki. Damn. So I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Honestly,
We were talking about it solidifying.
Oh,
like,
her career. And then it's one of those artists that is in that ranking, right? Of like the Mount Rushmore of the last decade, right? With Kendrick and Drake and Nicki, that Mount Rushmore for last decade. So I think it does put her up there, and that she holds her weight though too. I think it does good. To me, I was already a BIA fan, so this doesn't do too much. I'm happy that the song's out and I get to support the record and in return support her. But I think it also probably puts her in the ears of those J. Cole fans that maybe don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and J. Cole has a good female audience too. So, you know, maybe they haven't, some of those ladies haven't found their right MC. Mm-hmm. You know, and there's so many to choose from. I feel like she has this album that is a monster that I haven't heard yet. Because I saw she has a couple of songs that I've been seeing like on my recommended on YouTube, and I'm like, dang, I really want to dive in, but I want to see something else. Or the Jack Harlow new shit came out, but I really want to listen. And Lotto, she did that freestyle too, so she's very talented. So there's plenty to choose from as far as female MCs.
Something that I will say,
thank you, Nicki.
Because I wanted to watch the video. I wanted to more than watch the video. I wanted to hear the song on like loudspeakers, that on this, I wanted to hear them on the soundboard because of the bass that it has, and it just sounds so good. So I really wanted to hear that. But something that I noticed is that every single song after, like, I don't know if it was just going based off of like what your preferences, or like, I thought that the algorithm in YouTube usually goes based on what the song is.
Right. Yeah. Or like it'll play songs, or like a station of songs similar to the vibe.
Yeah, but then it was just like, so then something that I noticed is that any song after hers, none of them were women.
Oh shit.
They were They were really good songs, super good songs.
I thought you were talking about the energy level, like it just wasn't there either, because that's something too, like.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I was cleaning when I was listening to it.
After you put London on, everything else sounds slow.
Yeah, it did.
You know, like.
But something that I did also notice was that it was mainly men.
Right.
All of the songs were men, so that was just something that I thought was interesting. But I was gonna bring something that we did not mention
was
about.
That my account or your account? Who?
It was your account. Could it be? I think it could be that, because it was like some of the songs that you know.
Because it's been like some of the. I was wondering that because while I was going through it, I was like, damn, what algorithm is this? Because it was hitting a lot, but damn, I feel like I watched a good amount of the female content to at least have like another girl. But yeah. It's also a very, I didn't know if you were going there, but very male dominant sport. So they are,
of course,
No,
and all the songs were good, so shout out to them. I don't want to shy away from this or to not forget about this, because DJ Drama is officially a Grammy winner. So shout out to DJ Drama, because he was part of Call Me If You Get Lost. So this is the first Grammy that he has gotten, and if you don't know who DJ Drama is, you should get very familiar. He mixtape DJ, has done a lot, has done over I don't know how many mixtapes. He basically.
And he has classic mixtapes.
Yeah, he has his hands in so many of these different artists' careers.
Trap or Die, T.I. Yeah. So I think he really sets himself apart from not only as a DJ and like the rest of the other DJs.
Yeah.
Because that's something else too. I was watching the Kid Capri,
Drink Champs,
and just kind of not the slights that DJs get, but then you kind of just you could see where hip hop just kind of like looked down on the DJ, and then the DJ got popping, and then now for Drama to get, I'm not sure if he's the first DJ to get a Grammy, because did Kendrick won for Damn, didn't he? And Kid Capri was on there. But I guess I wanted to pop my shit, because also Tyler did a little snub to our good friend, home team to Miami DJ Khaled. But really, man, that career that
Drama has, I'd rather have that because he's probably doesn't have that notoriety or not everyone knows him or he doesn't have a Pepsi commercial or whatever the fuck, but he has impacted this culture, if not more, just as much as DJ Khaled, and I want to salute that, you know.
Shout out to DJ Drum. DJ Drum.
Gangsta
You got a
Grills.
toes out.
And shit, he's still doing it, getting on other mixtapes too, or this Dreamville mixtape too. So I really just shit. Jack Harlow is part of his record label generation now. So as a DJ, as an executive, Drama's doing his thing.
He is Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So is Uzi, but
So
then
is Uzi, but they had like
they got a little
something.
beef or a little, you know. I think Rock Nation kind of massaged things over. Shout out to Hov.
Okay.
And thank you, Hov. Hov dropped the verse for us. We got to get, cause he killed that.
Hov and Ye won a Grammy too.
Oh yeah, that is true. They won a Grammy.
They won a Grammy together.
And I feel like that's like Ye's 26 or like he has like almost close to 30
That's
Grammys.
crazy.
But yeah, Pusha T, Neck and Wrist, new song that just dropped. This shit is crazy. It's Pusha T season as much as it's BIA season because that BIA in London does got a hold on me right now. But excited to hear what this album is going to be from Pusha T. This one actually gives us Pharrell on the hook and production from Pharrell. So
Whoop, whoop.
this song was really good. I enjoyed it. Also, speaking of Jack Harlow, he dropped his song sampling Glamorous. That got the internet crazy, you know, and then some
That's probably what I was hearing on somebody's either reel or story. I don't remember.
to make things full circle about the age here, right? Because people were like, "Damn, I'm happy that I'm old enough that to see Glamorous get sampled." And I'm like, "All right, I feel y'all get in one. Sometimes it doesn't take too long to get a record to get sampled. I mean, sometimes it takes longer than usual. Something that I love and I feel like it affected a little bit of that Cudi buzz is when they straight up sampled Lady Gaga's Poker Face like that year. I thought that was so dope. And then Kanye did that also again with Swagger Like Us. No one on the like he did that again. He was kind of like sampling new shit, like relatively around the time. Also, J. Cole's Warm Up had a lot of shit that was sampled from like years. It was even though it sounded like some old shit, but it was like a sample of something that like was released a year or 2 years prior from that mixtape. So I just think like, hey, if it sound good, it sound good, you know, and that shit sounds good. And Jack Harlow's flow on there, really making it exciting to hear this second album, which I love the title, you know, Come Home, the Kids Miss You. And he got it right now, low key, you know.
A lot of the girlies love him.
And like I think even before, like with that album, he kind of he was like that new, quote unquote the new rapper that the older heads kind of could still like acknowledge because he's rapping, you know, and it's not so much as a gimmick or it's not like exactly like it's not a gimmick or he has off the wall flow or is screaming or it's too much more of a vibe because he's still a vibe.
Yeah,
he has that perfect balance with that little baby shit too of that vibe and content too because he gives that. And he's being himself, though, too. I think throughout the years of just not looking at the game, analyzing the game, I think that does more for you than people sometimes like to give credit for. You know, like that whole being yourself or even like not because some artists do this. That they kind of like put that front up and like almost like you can't get on their level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than like I always like how Cole has done it too, or like, you know, you kind of seeing like that of like the humbleness still being there, or like I don't need to have the fucking like my garage lot in my video.
Yeah.
You know, type
for
shit.
real. Something that I thought was funny too was about J. Cole being on London was how he's very like people always like to say he's dressed as simple. And then for him to be on a song like that, it's just funny to me. It's just funny to me.
He talked a lot of shit there too. You know, treat Balenciagas like their trainers. That he might just pop up, do another show with the Crocs in the O2 Arena. Like, so he was spazzing on that.
Yeah, like how Hav said, I felt like that song didn't need him. And then so for him to have gone on it and added the value that he added was
I think that says more too about BIA though too as well.
Yeah.
Because it was like you got the J. Cole verse, and especially as a female MC, weren't relying only on the verse. Like the verse didn't make the song.
Yeah.
It's not like DJs now could skip Bia's part and only play J. Cole's verse.
Like shit, her part is the part.
Shit, I'm damn near good walking up to the DJ if they cut off Bia's part.
I'm done. Hop gonna pull a Will.
Facts.
Should it be called the Will or should it be called the Oscar?
Nah, the Will.
No.
You tried it. It's cool. You tried it. We're gonna move on.
I'm just wondering. So we've been watching Bella. Well, there's another song that dropped too, because it was Bia, Jack Harlow, and who was the other person?
Pusha T. Yeah, we talked
Oh,
about it.
okay, so we
Neck
talked
and
about it. So cool. Y'all make sure y'all go listen to that. I don't listen to one of the songs from my bad.
Support that, and while you're there, also support Spitz and Flight.
For real.
Smash Bros. Out now.
Isn't it Stash?
Oh yeah, Stash Bros. It's Stash Bros. Or
You
Smash
did
Bros?
it again. No, bro, it's Stash Brothers by Spitz and Flight. Y'all make sure that you go check that out. I heard the album first back in October. I'm feeling real cool.
Hey Spitz, I fucked that up because you fucked up my mind over here. Coming over trying to talk about that you wanted to see me and get rematches on the Smash Bros. Bro, you can't see these hands, bro. Come on, man.
For real. I was playing that shit last week too. That was fun. So shout out to that. There was some other thing. So I know that there's a video that's circulating of the baby getting curved by a girl because he was gonna kiss her. And I told Hav when I saw that video that I feel and I know that I would do the same exact thing to him, because you're not a random man. You're a random man. I know who you are, but you are still a random person. You're not gonna fucking kiss me.
They say, man, this shit had me dying when I read this shit. They were like, man, the baby got that PR team fighting for their life every other week.
It's insane with this man. Like,
but honestly, it's a little bit of that power trip that kind of goes into, right? You just feel like you're on your shit. You know, you're untouchable. You know, you're unstoppable. You know, and I feel like sometimes, you know, we got to keep it a little bit more the baby. That's all I would say. Because, like, shit, for the most part, you do. And just to see this, like, this was just bad on that part. You know, and then also just as like as a female, we watched this show, and it's the one with Freddie Gibbs. I forgot the name.
It's called Bust Down.
Bust Down. And they were talking about like how the girl was just like, I just get grazed, you know, and I'm not even, I'm not even like an attractive girl, but I get my ass grazed.
I still got my ass grazed.
And I feel like that's just like shit that happen, you know, with females. And I'm not here to, cape for females and stuff like that, but you kind of see shit and you're just like, damn, a spade is a spade. Look at that, like, damn, that's the baby, you know, like it just, I guess what millionaires or people at a higher stature just feel when they're around quote unquote common folk.
Are you kidding me? There's been times where like I've been out and I don't even know or can't even get mad at anybody because they touched my butt. And maybe it was an accident, but sometimes it's on purpose. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't know what's what. So we live in a society where it's like sexual assault and such, like that's a thing. Like that's a real ass thing. Like I've talked about like having experienced it myself. I have a family that has experienced it. I know other people that have experienced it. And so like, you know, for somebody to just want to like kiss you in public just because of who they are, that's kind of crazy to me. It's like we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna kiss, especially because I wouldn't be anywhere in I don't know, I can't say that because of where I am, but like I wouldn't even try to be in the same vicinity that the baby is at.
Shout out to her though too, because like it's almost like she beats the stereotype a bit, because she is a fan waiting outside the hotel or waiting outside whatever, screaming, or maybe she's not even screaming, she's kind of with someone that was there wanting to see the baby, but kind of just being like no.
She's let her agree.
Like stay in her ground.
Because sometimes the girls will be like, "Ooh, let him."
right, yeah, that or just the simple fact of like, all right, I could be a fan, but that don't mean I want to fuck.
For real.
You know what I mean? Like, damn.
Or kiss you.
Except I mean, yeah, sorry, but anyway, I am a fan though.
Depends who it is, how.
No. But I'm just bullshitting. But like, really though, it's like, damn, like you would, I guess, in his perspective, thinking that he could kind of quote unquote have his way with those women because they're like there to see him.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, like, damn, like, okay, I'm here rooting for you or cheering for you and stuff like that. But that doesn't give you an
Any
invitation.
permit. There's no consent there.
You know, like type shit. So.
And her pulling away from you like that is actually is declining consent. It's saying no. So yes. So that's crazy. Boys, y'all boys, pay attention to all the clues. Okay, the girls usually let you know what's up. So I just wanted to go ahead and move forward. This past week I binged Bel Air. Watched the shit out of that show, and I really enjoyed it. And the reason why I bring it up is because I don't want to like maybe compare and contrast with the old one, because I feel like they did such a good job at honoring what the original was. Like there's certain parts in the original that they have here, like with you know, the same characters, of course, the same names, kind of same characteristics, but they of course bring the drama a little bit more. So there's a lot more drama in you know, maybe one's feelings or things like that. Something that I truly enjoyed was to see the dynamic between Phil and Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, like kind of seeing their relationship and seeing that type of communication that they would have or lack thereof when they did have those miscommunications. And then I also enjoyed like how they communicated with Will and how they were so for Will, and how that was a front, that not a front like as if they're and what they were lying, but like the front of them too as a couple, like standing behind him, and even their kids and being there for their kids. And you know, of course, like the Uncle Phil is running for DA, so there's just like a whole bunch of different things that are happening. What he did for Will was something that was bad, essentially. So
well, he basically breaks the
He
law.
breaks the law in order
to save his nephew.
Yeah, and
which is another a little bit of a contrast when we get a little bit deeper in there, because right, like, who is like doing wrong is only wrong for who it's for, type of thing.
Too deep, huh? It might have went over some people's heads. No, but that's a fact, though. That is a fact.
It goes. I hate to bring it up, but with Tyreek, and even with like the show, like in the show too, where he kind of like says it too, of like kind of like those decisions are kind of like, is that bad? Does that make that person bad, or that this was a favorable decision for you?
Yeah, it's kind of like in that class that they take.
Yeah, like, but for me, it was I had to do that. I kind of had to do you wrong. Like, it became valuable for me to do you wrong and move along. You might think that I'm a bad person, but actually, to me, fuck, I just did what was right for me.
Mm-hmm. Amen. And sometimes you have to do what's right for you, even if the consequences are unsavory and don't fall well for other people, which is very unfortunate.
But Phil got sold on that though, didn't he? Because like, it was because the judge was ready to snitch.
Yeah,
the judge was down.
The judge basically told the guy, like, hey,
this is what happened.
Like, this is what happened. I helped him with this, and it was all because like,
yeah, politics get dirty though.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I like that they showed. And I also like that they showed like Black Hollywood, Black Bel Air, you know, like the judge that was there was Black. They had a cop that was also Black, and just like that aspect of the show as well. We got to see that. And I know that in the original one they did that as well. But there were a lot more, I feel, white people in that area. And something that I liked in this Bel Air, which is obviously different because it's a new era. I loved how they made Hillary. Like, Hillary is a cook, you know, influencer, and like she goes through different things, and she's going through like the whole gap year, and then having parents, a mom specifically that is like overbearing and wanting to take control. And I feel like no matter what age you are, a mom or a dad is going to try to control a little bit about your life.
I thought they did a great job with that, especially since, you know,
Hillary's character was such a trope of what Hollywood used to interpret Pretty Women you know, just kind of klutzy, stupid, bit of a nutcase. Yeah. And so her having this business mind, and it even makes her more attractive. You know,
She's a baddie.
Honestly, you know, the original Hillary, you know, of course.
She looks so soft.
You know, right? Exactly, exactly. And this one too, but just a little bit more because she doesn't have those. What the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, this person has more depth, and that's something that the show did do really well with.
It's deep.
It's deep and gave the
Each character
layers.
It's just like different layers that you get to see. A character that I wasn't very fond of, which
Shit,
in
I
the
want
end,
the spin off of like Jeffrey's. Like, you know, let me know what
happened after. Where is Jeffrey? You think
like,
Jeffrey comes back next season?
Of course, he comes back next season, but like no, but just like the prequel, like, you know, like how does he, how is he able to get this information? How did he get the job? You know, because I think
what is he doing?
Yeah, like, was he a secret op? You know, and it was always a mystery too back then. That I think it's like it makes it even intensifies it a little bit more with this series.
I don't know why. Before I ever saw the show, or I think even saw the trailer or anything like that, I believed that Uncle Phil was like a drug dealer. Maybe it's because I was on a power mode. Don't know.
Could be. You saw a little St. Patrick in him with the suits and shit. You're like, dang. Yeah. That's how they got that house.
That's how they got the house. That's another thing. They don't really say how he got the house. Is it because he was a lawyer? I think it's because he was a lawyer, but he got like money. Like he's a.
It's a little bit. The dad kind of says, because he kind of when he goes, he's like, oh well, you know, Viv got money. Well, you know, Uncle Phil got rich. You know, kind of that. So I guess becoming the lawyer, it is what kind of gets it over there. Because I guess in the original, and I guess that's the one point we can't see this movie from. This series from, because we also, some of the context clues or some of these things we kind of could fill in with what we know from the last one. Mm-hmm. So I wonder how it is if you haven't seen the first one, right?
Yeah, there was
so one. You don't really you know. Again, maybe I also didn't see it, you know, minute per minute. So maybe there's some things that I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
But you know, I think there's some things that maybe get a little insinuated because you should know this a little bit.
I agree.
What kind of goes with every reboot, though. And I feel like, yeah, you should. And I guess that's a bigger conversation of like, should you know the source material or should you not?
Or should you not? Something that I also enjoyed was Aunt Viv and her painting, and that being like a thing, and that being something that wasn't there, and then Will coming, and then, you know, kind of like giving that that confidence and like creativeness that she was kind of like missing in her life. So that was really dope too. Something that I also want to add, and we can wrap it up here, about at least Bel Air, was I really liked how they went into the mind of Will after what happened in Philly. Like, as far as like, you know, him playing basketball and what happened at that game, like, you know, and then the gun and then the police, and like he would keep having flashbacks. And then when it came time to try out for the basketball team, and how he was having trouble with performing well because of the trauma that he had experienced back home, and how he was having flashbacks as that was happening. And so that was something that I really liked, because for me, there are times that I feel like I can't perform a certain way because of the mistake that I might have committed in the previous time. And something that the Uncle Phil told him was kind of just like, you know, like, you don't have to you're not that person anymore. Like, you have a new opportunity. You have to just like let that go. And once you're free from that, then you're going to be able to move on. Of course, he's free from that now. So then he ends up making the shots. But I felt like it was such a great message. And they presented that part of the mindset so well when it came to that trauma that he experienced. Because like I said, I felt like I can relate to it, and I felt like I have been held back by my own self because I kept thinking of what had happened before, you know, and the fear of it happening again.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because a lot of times in these shows we see characters do things, and I guess without cause and effect sometimes, and that right there is a little bit traumatic, even though, and probably could end up really worse. if he ended up shooting someone or
Yeah, thankfully it was just what it
thankfully,
was.
It was what it was. But sometimes we don't get to see how people deal with stuff. It's like all of a sudden now, oh, he's just playing basketball fine. Damn. Well, what happened the last time? Like, that didn't have anything to affect. So I think that was a great job on the writer's behalf on putting that in there, because making your characters real and actually like in the real world, which I think that these characters are a little bit more,
Yeah.
gives it more. It gives the fans to be a little bit more invested.
Yeah. And something.
Or the viewer.
Yeah. So shout out to Bel Air. Great show.
I also love the Inception of. Well, shout out to them. Big round of applause.
The what?
Like how the show was basically made, because the Inception. What? I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. I said it right the first time. Now you fucking me up.
Inception.
Inception. Yeah, the Inception of the show is because it was just a independent director was like, this is my version of Bel Air, but told as a drama. And then that started getting, we're making his way around the net. That was big when Will was big on YouTube, and he was like meeting with everyone. Content was fleshing out of Will Smith. And then he actually sat down with this guy and then got this deal with Peacock, which is really cool.
This is really dope.
So I think that's just awesome, because even if you look at the trailer, yeah, I mean, it's not the same people or whatever like that, or the same actors in every single role, but there's a lot in there that's in this show. So I just think that's really cool. Shit. It brings like what Dame Dash was saying on All the Smoke. Hey, what's stopping you? And nothing was stopping him. Hey, it was like, hey, they gonna let you remake Fresh Prince? Yeah, the fuck right. When the fuck is that gonna happen? But he was like, he had a vision, he had an idea, he fell through with that shit. That shit came back tenfold. So that's just a testimony to anything that you're thinking, oh man, you're a director, you're a writer, and it's a certain IP that you have a great idea for, but everyone's telling you no. Look at this. This is a testament right here that anything's possible, especially if it's creative and done with a good creative twist.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool.
Shout out to him. And to end the episode, I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys some, I guess, mental health tips. And it was just something that I found on Instagram, and it's about self-gaslighting. I know we talk about how other people gaslight us and how in relationships we get gaslighted and conversations and things like that. But did you know that you can do it to yourself as well? And here are some of the examples of what self-gaslighting can look like. So one of them is, I shouldn't be offended by them joking about me. So sometimes things offend us, and people are laughing and people are having fun and all this stuff, and then you feel, oh well, they're just making fun of me, it's not that serious, but you feel offended. Don't neglect that. Don't, like, you're basically like saying that it's okay when it's not, for the sake of another person and not even for you. So another thing is, I'm probably imagining things. I want to elaborate on every single one, because if you think about it, like, I'm probably imagining things. You start thinking to yourself that something is wrong and something is this and something isn't going right. It's in your intuition. And then you tell yourself, maybe I'm imagining things, but sometimes you be right. So yeah, pay attention. Another one was, I probably wasn't attentive enough. That's a good one. I'm probably being too sensitive. This one is crazy, because there are times where you think that that's what it is. Like, I'm just being too sensitive. It's not even that serious. It's not even that. So you're like putting your, basically all of these are just like, you're putting how you're feeling to the side for the sake of whatever. You feel the way that you're supposed to feel, and you feel the way that is correct, because nobody can determine whether the way you feel is good, is wrong or right, except for yourself, because you're the one who's feeling it, right? So another one is, I'm taking things too personally. And man, that's a good one. I'm probably being rude for calling them out. No, man. Sometimes motherfuckers need to be told that they wilding out. Okay, so you gotta let them know, like that. You know that you gotta let them know, and that's something that a lot of these. The reason why I even wanted to talk about it was because a lot of these are something that I have told myself, and I didn't know that that's what I was doing. That I was just gaslighting myself. So another one is their disrespect is probably just honesty. Oh, that's a good one. I'm probably being dramatic. I say this to myself so many times in a day about me being dramatic, but 51% of the time I'm not. If we're being real. And so yeah, so it says here, self gaslighting, allowing your internalized gaslighting parents' voice to make you doubt rather than empower yourself. So something that Hav and I even talked about this past week, and we can wrap it up here, was even about like making decisions on your own. We are in a society to where everything is a decision even when you don't make one, because something's gonna happen whether you make that decision or not. Something's gonna happen, whether it be good or whether it be bad. And sometimes when you make the decision, it's bad. And sometimes when you don't make the decision, it's bad. So sometimes you just got to make a decision. So, and that's something that we all struggle with is, making decisions, especially if you have been self gaslighting or if you have been under the influence of a family member who is constantly gaslighting you to then you gaslight yourself, and then there's just so much different things that happen, so you start feeling like you can't really make so many decisions for yourself. And that is very difficult because then you go on living your life that way to where it's just like, oh my God, like, is this the right decision? Am I doing this correctly? Like, like even like in the examples that we just saw right now of self gaslighting, like, is, am I taking things too personally, etc. So I wanted to read a little bit more of the caption, and it says, we're not born gaslighting ourselves. Often we've internalized this voice from our emotionally immature / wounded gaslighting parent, or we have low self-confidence. It's important to learn to identify this abusive voice in order to not act out on, not engage with it. We need to develop an empowering inner voice instead. Self gaslighting is not an official term, it's self criticism, actually. This voice saved us in a childhood form from rejection. Now we're safe to kindly simply not engage with it anymore. Tell it, I appreciate your efforts, but we're fine now and don't need you anymore. So something that's also good is self-coaching builds you up. Self-criticism / gaslighting tears you down. So this is just basically like to, to provoke curiosity into you so that you can learn a little bit more about maybe the way that you're talking to yourself and kind of discover where the root of that comes from, because like this is saying it's basically like that. Like you get the self gaslighting because someone has gaslighted you, and the voice that you heard growing up is the voice that you keep telling yourself all of these bad things. And that's something that I know that I need to let go of, but you have to know about it so that you can let go of it. So yeah. Do you have anything else to add, Hav?
No, just being aware of stuff like that is very impactful, and like you need to know what are those triggering things, or even sometimes being real with yourself of like, yeah, man, I do struggle with making a decision, and why is that? And all those little things of what you could work out, the inner workings of yourself, understanding what triggers you or what gaslights you or how you talk to yourself, or acknowledge that, hey, I am horrible. I had the way I talk to myself. No one would talk to me like that. Mm-hmm. You really have to go through that, and I think that's timing. Sometimes some people get that at an early age, or they don't. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and also what you were saying about calling people out because you don't want to be rude, or you don't want to be confrontational. That's something that I struggle with, right?
Same.
I want everything to be smooth. If everyone's not smiling, something's wrong. If we're not talking, something's wrong. So, let's act like everything's fine and all that stuff. But when something gets disrespected or something gets slighted, oh, hold on, wait a minute now. I've known to probably lash out stronger because it's just like, damn, I'm so easygoing that it's like, damn, you really think that you could take him? You could take me there?
Testing my gangster.
Yeah, like you tested me a little bit, you know, and that's like a double thing, but that's maybe some inner perspective that I gotta do is because I maybe don't spaz at the little things because I'm building up. I'm trying to build up a case for someone and then bring down the hammer on them, and they're like, damn, bro, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, well, you was play with me like 2 other times.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, even though it was pettier than those other 2 times, this is the last time that you'll do that shit. You know, it might be good for you to do that though. That's a lot of good self value that you have in yourself if you're not gonna accept behaviors from other people. So definitely, you know, now I feel like I'm preaching with all the but yeah.
No, man, because it's true. A lot of that shit is just true. What he just said, what I just said. And I don't really have anything else to add, but I mean, besides just kind of like, let's be more aware. Like the reason why we even bring these topics up, or I bring these topics up, or even why like I even tell Hav like this is something that I feel is important, is because like, man, self-awareness is so important. And then like teaching yourself, like, you know, like that, like kind of like
teaching yourself about yourself.
Yeah, teaching yourself about yourself so that you know how to defend yourself against yourself. Because
understanding your love language.
Yeah, understanding.
What are you looking at for a partner?
So many different things. There's so many different things that you won't know unless you start doing the work. So start doing the work, guys. This is the Ambition Hour podcast. Okay. Remember, we are still in a pandemic, so make sure that you wash your hands, wash your ass, drink water, and mind your business. For the 206th time in a row, it's your girl Claudia Renee on your airwaves with my co-host Top 600, my official, unofficial co-host Babe the Retriever, and we are out of here, y'all.
It's
Peace.
the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour. It's the Ambition Hour, baby.